Good morning everyone. So for this video, we will tackle about teaching and learning Araling Panlipunan or social studies. First, what is Araling Panlipunan? Araling Panlipunan, or it is commonly known as Makabayan or social studies, is the learning area that lay most stress on the development of social awareness, empathy, and firm commitment to our common goal as a nation. It entails the use of integrated units which enables the individual to personally process, assimilate, and systematically practice wide range of values and life skills including work ethic. Next, what are the main principles in teaching Makabayan? The main principle in teaching Makabayan is to do integration. Integration is characterized by Kubeilek and Olsen 1994 into 6. First, it prefers questioning and problem solving to direct the process of acquiring knowledge and skills. Second, it reflects the interdependent real world. Third, it involves the learner's body, feelings, senses, and intuition in learning experiences. Fourth, it bases practice on the characteristic of human learner and on the interdependent nature of reality. Fifth, it provides holistic context for learning. And sixth, it leads to a greater ability to make a number of connections and to solve a problem. Those are the characteristics of integration by Kubeilek and Olsen. The teaching Araling Panlipunan is expected to, first, contribute to the development of a holistically developed citizen who is aware and knowledgeable of. Second, critically analyze current social issues and concerns in the local and global level. Those are the goals of teaching Araling Panlipunan. What are the key standards in teaching Araling Panlipunan? For kinder to grade 3, na ipamamalas ang panimulang pag-unawa at pagpapahalaga sa sarili, pamilya, paaralan at komunidad, at sa mga batayang konsepto na nagpapatuloy ng pagbabago, distansya at direksyon gamit ang mga kasanayan tungo sa malalim na pag-unawa tungkol sa sarili at kapaligirang pisikal at sosyo-kultural bilang kasapi sa komunidad at ng mas malawak na lipunan. For grade 4 to 6, na ipamamalas ang mga kakayahan bilang batang produktibo, mapanagutan at makabansang mamamayang Pilipino gamit ang kasanayan sa pagsasaliksik, pagsisiyasat, mapanuring pag-iisip, matalinong pagpapasya, pagkamalikhain, pakikipagkapwa, at pag-unawa sa mga batayang konsepto ng geografiya, kasaysayan, ekonomiya, pamamahala, sibika at kultura, tungo sa pagpapanday ng maunlad na kinabukasan para sa bansa. And for grade 7 to 10, na ipamamalas ang mga kakayahang bilang kabataang mamamayang Pilipino na mapanuri, mapagnilay, malikhain, may matalinong pagpapasya at aktibong pakikilahok, makakalikasan, makatao, at makabansa, na may pandaigdig na pananaw gamit ang mga kasanayan sa pagsisiyasat, pagsusuri ng datos at iba't ibang sanggunian, pagsasaliksik, kasaysayan, ekonomiya, politika at kultura tungo sa pagpapanday ng maunlad na kinabukasan para sa bansa. That's the key standards in teaching Araling Panlipunan or social studies.
Saklaw at daloy ng kurikulum na ipamamalas ang kamalayan bilang batang Pilipino sa sa katangian at bahaging ginagampanan ng tahanan, paaralan at pamayanan, tungo sa paghubog ng isang mamamayang mapanagutan, may pagmamahal sa bansa at pagmamalasakit sa kapaligiran at kapwa. Guiding Principles. Effective teaching of Araling Panlipunan is characterized as meaningful, integrative, value-based, challenging, and active. The first guiding principle is meaningful. Meaningful. It is meaningful when students see the relevance and connection of their lesson to their lives because it has real-world application. It also becomes meaningful when students are challenged to use disciplined inquiry or use high-order thinking skills to construct meaning. It is meaningful when learning is authentic. The second one is integrative. The subject itself is an integration of several interrelated disciplines: history, economics, geography, political science, sociology, anthropology, archaeology, and psychology. It is sensitive to and integrates multiple intelligences and learning styles of students. It integrates cognitive skills required in other disciplines as it provides opportunities for students to conduct inquiry, develop and display data, synthesize findings, and make judgments. The third is value-based. A powerful and effective Araling Panlipunan teaching is value-driven because its intended outcomes the development of the mamamayang mapanagutan, makalikasan, makabansa, at makatao. Students learn democracy by experiencing democracy right there in the classroom. Its lessons are replete with value-laden concerns and issues where students listen to competing arguments, assess the merits of competing arguments, and make informed and value-based decisions. The fourth is active. It requires students to process and think about what they are learning. Active learning is hands-on, minds-on, hearts-on. Students work individually or collaboratively using rich and varied sources to reach understandings, make decisions, discuss issues, and solve problems. Students interact teachers by asking and answering questions as teachers explain. Students also interact with learning materials. The last one is challenging. Learning tasks should neither be too easy to bore the students nor too difficult to discourage them. AP teachers should know their students more than anything else and so are in the best position to determine when the learning tasks are neither too easy or nor too difficult.
Guiding principle in the teaching of Araling Panlipunan are social science. So we have 5 characterized effective teaching of Araling Panlipunan. It's meaningful, integrative, value-based, challenging, and active. So first, effective Araling Panlipunan teaching is meaningful. So it is meaningful when students are the relevance and connection of their lesson to their lives because it has real-world application. So next is effective Araling Panlipunan teaching is integrative. So Araling Panlipunan as a subject is in itself an integration of several interrelated disciplines: history, economics, geography, political science, sociology, anthropology, archaeology, and psychology. The effective teaching of Araling Panlipunan is value-based. So the intended outcomes of Araling Panlipunan as a course or subject are the effective domain, the development of the mamayang mapanaguntan, makakalikasan, makabansa, at makatao. Have 3 levels strategy. It includes the teaching of fact, first level, concept, the second level, and values, the third level. So 4 is effective Araling Panlipunan teaching is active. So Araling Panlipunan teaching requires students to process and think about what they learn. And the last is effective Araling Panlipunan teaching is challenging.
So for Araling Panlipunan teaching and learning to be challenging, learning tasks should neither too easy to bore the student nor too difficult to discourage them.
So let's come now to the next slide, which is below are some example of coded statements. So let's come now to the first letter, letter A. The task of the teacher today is not to complete the learning process but to continue it, not to cover the whole subject but to help students understand the process of acquiring knowledge, not to encourage the answering of questions but to question the answer, not to stress remembering and reviewing but to build a program of practical applications from the students who they will remember in review, not to dictate but to guide students toward living fuller and more responsible lives, by Sharkan, 1982. Letter B, the more dumb the teacher, the better for the students. Letter C, good teacher is bad teacher. Next, letter D, clarify values through subject matter. Letter E, instruction is for information, formation, and transformation. Letter F, life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. Helen Keller, The Open Door. Letter G, don't handicap your children by making their lives easy, by Robert A. Heinlein. Letter H, what I hear I forget, what I hear and see I remember a little. What I hear, see, and ask question about and discuss with someone else, I begin to understand. What I hear, see, discuss, and do, I acquire knowledge and skill. What I teach to another, I master, by Mel Silverman. Letter I, in training a child to activity of thought, above all things we must beware of what I will call inert ideas that merely receive into the mind without being utilized or tested or thrown into fresh combinations, by Alfred North Whitehead. Letter J, you cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today, by Abraham Lincoln. Letter K, the mind is not a vessel to be filled but a fire to be kindled. Letter L, children must be taught how to think, not what to think, by Margaret Mead. Letter M, education is all a matter of building bridge, by Ralph Ellison. Letter N, difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body, Seneca. Letter O, all that necessary for the triumph of evil is the good men do nothing, by Edmund Burke. Letter P, if God does not exist, then everything is permitted, Dostoevsky, The Brothers Karamazov.
Good morning. The Enhanced Basic Act 2013 or K-12 law states that curriculum should be culture sensitive. Ibig sabihin, meron dapat tayong knowledge, awareness, and acceptance to other cultures and identities, and contextualized and global. Ibig sabihin, we students should be enabled to apply new knowledge and skills to real-life situation and to be a globally competitive individual. The guiding principle in the teaching of Araling Panlipunan can be summarized in the acronym MAVIC: meaningful, active, value-based, integrative, and challenging. Meaningful. Lesson is meaningful when it is relevant and connected to students' lives, including prior experiences. It is taught with depth, not just memorizing isolated bits of information and superficial content coverage for the test. It also challenges students to employ life skills like critical and creative thinking skills. And lesson is learned by doing. Next is active. Learning is hands-on, minds-on, heart-on. Learning is active when students discuss issues, solve problems, make decisions themselves. Students interact with the teacher. Students interact with classmates. Students interact with learning materials. Next is value-based. Lessons have both cognitive and affective dimensions. Lessons are meant to develop students with a mind and a heart. Araling Panlipunan teaching is value-based when lessons make use of value-laden concerns and issues where students are expected to come up with informed and value-based decisions. AP lessons students engage in experiences what develop them to become a good citizens of a democratic form of government. And AP lessons balances the cerebral approach or the intelligence with an emotional touch. Next is integrative. AP teaching is enriched by employing multidisciplinary approach. By its very nature, AP as a subject consists of a number of interrelated disciplines. Araling Panlipunan teaching is integrative when lessons integrates other disciplines. Lessons connect the past, the present, and the future. Consider students' multiple intelligence and learning styles, and make use of cognitive skills used in other disciplines such as interpreting data and drawing conclusions. Last is challenging. AP teaching is challenging when it requires real effort on the part of students to learn. Araling Panlipunan lessons are challenging when they are not too easy to take for granted nor too difficult to turn off students, and they inject novelty into exercises so they are different from the usual and familiar.